What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Beanball Podcast. This is episode 88, and we are your hosts, Alan and Alan. What's going on, everyone?
What's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
Not much. Got the chance to go eat at your restaurant today.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah. We actually were a little busier today. We filled up pretty quick for a Tuesday. I was like, okay, this is going to be an interesting day, but then it died down. I figured.
I mean, it started out pretty busy when I got there. I was like, I don't know what this is. It looks like a church crowd, but there's no church in session.
Yeah.
All the old people complain it's too cold. I think it feels good. What are you talking about?
Even my front of house girls who sit at the restaurant, like, it's cold. I'm like, well, y'all are twigs. Go put a jacket on because I'm not sweating in here. Because it gets warm. But, you know, it's in the summer. Like, I'm like... Next week, playing with the schedule, school starts back here. So It's like we're losing a good quantity of people who worked some days that they're not going to be able to now. So we're like looking at it like, ooh, this is going to get rough.
Okay.
But it's going to be interesting. It is. You know, school starting. Everywhere else, mostly places around. School started here in Virginia. We start after Labor Day.
Yep.
So we're going to get right into baseball. And, of course, the big bangers. Judge hit number 50. Be the third ever Yankee to hit multiple seasons with 50 home runs.
Yes.
So that's a big one. And then Pujols got another one
Chasing
and is now 2 away from A-Rod to pass on the list. And, of course, is 6 away from that big 7-0-0-0.
Yeah, man, the more he's getting closer, I feel like he can do it. I mean, it's going to take a lot, but even if Pujols doesn't get there, it's been an exciting last season. If it's going to be his last season, I mean, I guess it is. But Judge hitting 50, that's a good number because he is on a contract year basically.
Yeah, and last 31 appearances, he had a slump. And you're like, well, I guess there goes the record for AL because Maris' record still sits for AL. Yeah. But he got in a little hot streak again, and now he is projected, I think last time I looked was at 63, so right over. So if he keeps it up, he'll be very close come to that last week to either passing it or being within distance.
Right, and what's good about him getting over 50 home runs right now is that he is one of the top candidates for the MVP.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard for you to go against him if he's going to hit 63 home runs.
The only person is Ohtani.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's him or Ohtani.
Like, you're looking at everyone in the AL at least. You're looking at Ohtani or Judge.
And you're right. It's close because not only is Judge doing outstanding stuff, just like last year when we had the race, it's the same thing, is that Ohtani's looking better than he did last year.
He has a better ERA this year.
Exactly.
Yes, the home runs are down, but he's about to approach to hit that 30 mark.
Right, and when you look at it from this guy's playing both sides of the field, it's still amazing. So it's kind of hard. It's going to be a tough one, man. If Judge keeps this up.
Yeah, I'll be very interesting to see how the votes happen. Like
it's going to be tight.
First, second, I feel like it's kind of like the Verlander and Garrett Cole the year they both started one where it got separated by like 2 or 3 points. It was very close.
It could be. And another thing that keeps me thinking Judge is still high in the running is his batting average is still great. Yeah. It's not like he's out here just hitting home runs or nothing. He's hitting the ball.
Yeah, and then his RBIs are up there too. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be real close, but, you know, Ohtani's doing Ohtani things and
it's just quiet. He's on a quieter team. And he's on the West Coast.
Yes,
right.
West Coast, they're not doing good even though Trout's heating up at the wrong time.
It's just the team itself. Yeah, it's nothing they can do about it.
The only thing good about the news is that you might get a new owner here soon.
And then Pujols hitting 694 is pretty awesome because he is the first person to hit home runs off of 450 different pitchers.
Yep, it's now his own record.
That's crazy.
And I think the most crazier stat I think was the one about the significance of the other day when he hit that home run. Whereas like on that day he hit a home run.
Serena Williams.
Serena Williams was in the U.S. Open, and then Biggio and Bo Bichette had a hit. And Serena Williams in the U.S. Open, he of course hit the home run.
And now they're
kids. And then a different Bo Bichette and Biggio recorded a hit.
Biggio and Bichette hit a home run. Yeah, the junior, the kids. That's crazy.
Like, between 2001 and 2022, it's like crazy. The same stat line.
That is a crazy stat line.
That's sports for you, man.
That is sports for you.
And that's you had a hell of a career. Between 20 years in between those two stats, it still somehow happens on that exact day. Man. But, yeah, these are going to be 2 close ones like we said last week. Like, Pujols getting injured. Like, if he gets 1 a week, it's going to be very close because, you know, tomorrow is the last day of August. And then you got 30 days of baseball left.
Look, man, I don't know who's calling the shots. If I was in the owner's position or whatever, I'd be like, hey, coach, we got to play this guy the rest of the season. He's got to get his opportunities.
Yeah, and it'd be different scenario if if they weren't in a playoff race.
I know, this is true.
They're straight in a playoff race. Like, yes, they're still trying to.
Would they count playoff home runs?
No.
See. So,
no,
yeah. Because it has to be fair playing ground.
October 2nd is the last day of the season.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, he's still got a shot. And like you said, he gets in these streaks. If he stays in a hot streak, he hits 2 or 3. I mean, now we're getting real close, and who knows what'll happen then. I mean, let's say he's at 694. What if he's at 697? Then they're going to be like, we got to play this guy. Let him try to do his thing. It'll be on the watch. But like, we're 3 away.
And especially say he's within 3 or 2.
Yeah.
Going into the last week and a half, and you already clinched the division.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to clinch a bye. So at this point, you're going to start resting players. And that's going to be his opportunity to get more at-bats.
Yeah, I'd bet him 3rd.
And that way, instead, you locked up so people will come to the ballpark because, okay, well,
absolutely.
we already locked everything up. There's no point in coming. Oh, no, there's a reason Pujols can hit that number 700. So it's stuff could happen to make it where it happens easier.
And it's crazy. We might be having a different discussion if there wasn't the COVID years. I mean, he might have already been there.
And the injured years,
exactly.
COVID. Like, there's so many different, this could have been something last year. We don't know. Or 2 years ago.
All right, well, we're definitely going to keep an eye on Pujols. Everybody wants to watch Pujols do it, and so do we.
Yeah.
But let's move on. If you guys haven't heard, the MLBPA is moving to unionize the minor leagues players.
This is something I think has been slowly need to be happened over the last few years. It helped last year with the housing situation, the owners owning the team, put more money into it, but there's, of course, some owners who are not.
Yep.
But I feel like this is something that's going to happen eventually, and the cards went out to vote. If they unionize, this is going to be interesting because then you're talking pay, but then the negotiations going to have to happen for downsizing more teams. It's not no MLB decision. It's
right. Yeah. So from what I heard, for this to happen and for the MLBPA to represent the minor leaguers in this collective bargaining agreement, at least 30% of the minor league players would need to sign the authorization card.
Yeah.
And then I guess that would prompt an actual formal election, and then majority vote will be needed to require for the MLB to recognize a union under the National Labor Relation Board laws.
Yeah.
So, hey, I mean, if only 30% need to do it, and, minor leaguers, they've been living out the cars and this and that, they need it to
That's
happen.
going to be easy to get that to go to the big vote. That's not the hard part.
Right.
Is going to go to the big vote and stuff. I still think it's going to happen. Do you want fair, the stories of last year and the years before of living in the cars or
I know, wild.
Not be able to afford bills, food.
Rent, yep.
It's it's insane, especially the
working
story
second
of
jobs.
It's like the story of Juan Soto sleeping on an air mattress in a room. He's like, I won't be here long. This is fine. But still, it's it's insane to think of stuff like that. And then of course, some cities have host families who let players come in and because they believe it's insane.
Yeah.
That
it's a grind. It's definitely a grind.
As a kid growing up, okay, probably a team owns an apartment building or something.
Exactly.
Where they ship in and out the players, and then they just got agreements, and sometimes it's on their own.
But like you said, a lot of the minor league teams were owned by individual owners, so hopefully this will change the game, and they will get housing for the guys.
Yeah.
Even if it's on the same property as the field or something, as long as they have somewhere that they can rest their head and they don't have to worry about it, because there's no reason a guy should be working a second job or this or that when he should be focusing on baseball. If you guys believe in him enough to be on your minor league system, then you need to put some money into him so he can get there.
Yeah, definitely. So it's going to be interesting. We'll keep, of course, eye on it once it does get official. The 30% fast and they'll go to vote. But this is definitely going to be more of an off-season thing where we'll go into next season. They might be unionized before the start of next season. We don't know how quickly they're going to get this going. But it's interesting that it's finally happening for the minor league players to have rights, I guess.
Right.
All right, so next, if you weren't on the rock, J-Rod of the Mariners is yet another young guy who has signed a long-term deal.
Yeah, man.
But this one is very different compared to your other deals where he is more betting on himself even more so you don't end up like Acuna and stuff where he feels like he's underpaid after a couple years. First it was long-term deals like, okay, what's the money? Because, Tatis 2 years ago was just over 300.
Mm-hmm.
Wander Franco barely, played MLB, so this is the same thing with him. It's like,
yeah, we're seeing a lot of these rookie contracts that are up there. And
it all started with Atlanta. Atlanta was so smart locking up those young guys quick, and they're still doing it.
Yeah,
Austin Riley's getting paid now.
He is,
it's like,
and that's a good sign right there. But like you said, when Acuna gets signed and this and that, you got good, solid players for the future. So I like it.
So the base minimum, fully guaranteed, is just over $200 million. Yeah. Now, it can grow dramatically up to $450 million and stuff he's got to hit. And I'm like, what do you mean? How can it grow? Because this is the first time. Like, what do you mean? It's all the bonuses, and if he hits MVPs so many years, and I'm just like, this is kind of smart.
Right, and I don't know if we said something like this, because I know maybe last season or earlier this season or something, you and I talked about contracts in the future and what we thought it would be, and we thought they'd need some kind of fail-safes or some incentives to get there. This is a perfect example. Yeah. Like if you're so he signed the 26th contract in baseball for $200 or more on this Friday. Yeah. And that's, like you said, that's great because it's a unique contract where he can make that 200 grow to 470. That's huge.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, I can't wait to how we mean it's like, is there like, first when I first heard like can grow, I'm like, what is this, club options? Like, but then when they said like, okay, if he hits MVP once, he gets this bonus. If he hits it 2 years within the contract, it goes to this. I'm like, wow. I'm like, and then I think same thing with like, I think, what is it? Rookie of the year, he gets a bump, and then I think, what is it? All-star appearances. I'm like, he literally put a lot of deal into this work to make this work for everyone.
And you know what's crazy about this is that not only is this a good contract for all parties involved, but Rodriguez, this is how you become a franchise player. Like it reminds me of like a Ryan Zimmerman or something like that. Like this kid signed in 2017 at the age of 16 in Seattle, and he said before he signed or after he signed, he said, "Hey, I want to be here for the rest of my career." And this shows that he is actually following through with that. So now you got this guy locked up for how many years? Was it a dozen?
I think it was. I think it ended up being 12.
Now it's like, everybody needs to go get his jersey.
Because you think about it, 6 years of rookie eligibility. Mm-hmm. So, and then you get 6 years past that. Yeah. If I remember correctly, he is 20, if I remember correctly.
Oh, wow.
So you're talking to almost sign another prime, big contract, and then he could sign a 6 year or how if it has a great career.
Absolutely.
This is a win-win.
You could sign a second big contract after this.
So he guarantees money. He's going to get paid. He gets $200 million on the table, guaranteed. Mm-hmm. And then if he bets on himself, he does have a great career, which we all think the way he has flashed, he will. He's going to be set for life.
Yeah, well, for
sure. He's already almost there pretty much now.
I mean, he's there. Depends on how he spends his money.
And now he's the face of the franchise.
But he has an opportunity probably at that time to sign another $400 million contract.
Because if you think about it, 400 is, you're talking Trout money.
Absolutely.
And this kid who is in contention for Rookie of the Year this year just signed a deal to possibly get Trout money.
But just think about it. After his contract's up, if it just ends on its own natural time frame, he'll be 32 when he can sign another, and he'll sign another big 7-year contract. And at that time, the money be worth more, and it'd be like $50 million a year.
So now every young player has the mold now for a contract. Is this contract?
Absolutely.
Atlanta's probably like, whew. Thank God we signed the guys when we did.
But like you said, they're the innovators. They got away with it. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, how can you do that? But now they're like, oh, well, we actually did great.
And now I wonder if like those young players are going to start thinking about, asking for more money, re-signing, who knows. But that's it. But this contract is a trendsetter, different, and I love it.
Yeah, I like it for both parties.
Bet on himself, and if he hits this, it's going to be golden.
But I like that he wants to be there for the rest of his career, and he bet on himself to actually sign a contract with this language in it to earn more money. Yeah. It's not like he's being greedy, like, oh, I need 400 guaranteed. He's like, look, 200 is a lot of money, and I can make another 270 on top. That sounds like a great contract for all parties.
Yeah, and it
shows that he's investing in the team.
Base, and you're talking about if he's, which we think he could be, you're talking about endorsement deals going to be coming to him, like Adidas or Nikes or stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's even extra money because the way he's going to go like you're looking at him as a new age Ken Griffey Jr., especially Absolutely. Seattle, the swag he brings to the game. You can see that with him that he can kindly take it, especially with Ken Griffey there as a advisor and stuff, probably talking to him.
Yeah, we got a new kid.
This is going to be the new generation's kid.
I would be surprised if he's not getting those kind of deals at his door right now. After he signs this contract, the way he had since Home Run Derby, he's been put on the map.
He gets Rookie of the Year this offseason. There's going to be so many talks with his agent and him about deals and stuff for next season.
I don't think it matters if he gets Rookie of the Year. The fact that he signed a $500 million contract and he's going to be there long term and he's already got this kind of success at the age of 20, he's going to get a contract. He's going to get deals, like you said.
Just imagine if he beat Soto out for the home run derby this year, like he
right.
Did.
But the home run derby doesn't mean a lot to me. But still, you're right. But another thing that it brings my attention to is that you and I have been excited about the Mariners for the last year or so, and with this signing, that just puts into perspective that they are willing to work to make their team better. So that means that they're going to be a good team in the future. I just don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to say it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, like they're right there in the playoff race right now. I believe they are the second wild card. If I remember, yeah, I think so. But they're there. Hopefully their playoff drought's going to end this year, and that young core is one of the young teams you'll be excited about in baseball.
Exactly.
You see what the Orioles are doing. They're going to be a very exciting team.
They are exciting right now.
They're exciting now, but when they bring all those top guys up, probably starting from spring training next year,
and
they're going to be an exciting team.
We've been seeing them. They've been looking good.
Hell, they just actually promoted their first round pick last year to here at AAA this week.
Yep.
Like they're almost all going to be up there within this next year.
But that's the same thing, like we're saying with the Mariners signing J-Rod for the long term. Now you can build a team around him and just fill in the pieces.
And they did spend some money. They got remember Robbie Ray, the defending Cy Young last year, to become their pitcher. Like they're spending money. They're ready.
Speaking of young standout prospect players who have big contracts with like Adidas, if you haven't heard, we know there's been bad news recently about Tatis and his PED usage. He has been dropped from Adidas.
Yeah. Adidas came out, pretty much said that, we
want people who play the game fairly, right? Yeah. And it's to be understood. Like, you don't want somebody who's cheating or may have been cheating to be the name of your brand, do you?
No. Yeah. Especially, baseball, they don't like Adidas and Nike stuff. They don't have many baseball players icons. And you think you have Tatis as your guy,
Adidas,
and he does this, you're like, we got it.
And it has to, yeah. But in my opinion, luckily, the 23-year-old has plenty of time to redeem himself and reshape his career. I think he'll put this in the past because this isn't like a huge, like, I'm using steroids.
I really hope this is so much eye-awakening between, the what is it, the mystery injury
right
to start the season, and then this
right,
and then now he came out, also said that he is going to have shoulder surgery now.
Well, that's fine. Get healthy, do what you got to do. I don't think he needs this. I think he got to a point where he was at superstar status and he's like, I gotta stay with the game. I think he just needs to figure it out, get back on track, do what you do best, play baseball, and focus on that.
Yeah, like there's a reason why you're the guy, so quickly, that face, that young talent, and you just need to refocus on that, and then I think you can revise your career. But this is like, oh damn, another notch to hit you this year that you have lost as one of your main,
and that's fine,
main endorsement deals.
And that's fine. This is how you get a great story, a great movie written about you. You're at your lowest low. Now it's time to go high and show everybody what you can do.
Yeah.
So I think, look, like I said, this is a blip on the radar. Tatis is going to be fine. He's going to get through this, and he's going to do great. He's going to get more sponsors in the future. I have no doubt.
Yeah, and let's go and talk about another Padre. Like, the first deal that we thought that could be game changer for the Padres has not worked out.
Has not.
At all. Josh Hader, we thought like maybe change scenery for both closers would help both teams out.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't with Hader. Like, when you have above a 23 ERA since being traded, like,
yeah.
I don't know what to do. Like, that's,
yeah, man.
Especially when you've been the lights out guy for the last 3 years.
Yeah, and this season, I think he even started the season with 19 straight scoreless appearances. He allowed his first earned run on June 7th. That's how good this guy was doing.
July got a little rocky. Then they traded him, and then after that, it's just been a disaster.
And, well, like you said, his last 7 games, his ERA is a 23.14. Mm-hmm. It kind of reminds me of Rick Ankiel. Because I saw a video of Hader on his last outing, and he was not able to find a strike zone at all. He was throwing it high, he was throwing it low. He could throw anywhere but over the plate. I don't know if that's because he's scared or because something wrong with his arm. But right now, you know what I think? I think it's all in his head. Yeah.
So the 2 bad months. So through June, Hader had an ERA of 1.09.
Yeah.
Then July, his ERA was a 12.54.
That's what I'm saying.
And August so far is a 23.14. So far, his whole season is a 6.52.
Yeah, 6.52.
And then you look at Rogers, who the swap of the closers, which now Rogers is more the setup guy. Through June, his ERA was 2.8. July, he had that rough month with 9.3. This month, he's at a 4.5. So overall season is a 4.35.
Which is fine. And that's him doing his job. But when I think about this guy, Josh Hader, like I said, I feel like this is something just in his head because he physically must be fine if they're letting him go out there and pitch. So what I'm thinking is he had a few bad outings, and now he's got the shakes.
Yeah.
Basically like what the golfers get. It's just like it's a mind thing. He just needs to reset himself. I don't know if they need to set him down for a couple weeks or what, but you got to let him figure this out.
Yeah, because it's unfortunately you need this guy for the postseason. Like you thought, like we've seen what this guy is lights out, and unfortunately he's not been. And then you're going to be in a wild card game because you're not catching the Dodgers. So you're talking about you have to win 2 games. Are you going to trust this guy to go out there 2 nights in a row or 2 out of 3 nights to hold the lead or close the game out for you to advance? I don't know. Well, not right now.
My question to you guys is, when's the last time this man's seen his family? I'm thinking trouble with the curve.
Oh shit.
Bring them down here. I don't know.
I don't know. I hope they fix him.
I think it's in the head, man.
It's got to be something.
It's in the head. Because, like I said, they wouldn't let him go out there if he was injured.
Yeah.
They need to send him down. He needs to take a break, a mental break, reset with maybe the AAA system, get with the pitching coach, and just figure out what the issue is. I don't think his stuff's wrong. I think he's just got the shakes, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunately
That's my guess.
I thought maybe the trade, new face, new place, they'll figure it out, and then it just hasn't worked out.
No, not at all. But let's get on to some crazier news. So if you guys haven't heard, we've had the biggest sell for a baseball card ever to happen over this weekend.
Yeah. So a few weekends ago at the National Sports Card this year, it was in Atlantic City. They had display of a card that was on Golden Auctions, the Mickey Mantle, the holy grail of cards. Everyone wants this card, but a CGS 9.5, and the colors were immaculate. They believe it was going to be the highest selling card, and over the weekend, it officially came in with the final bid, $12.6, right?
Yep, $12.6
million.
$12.6 million for a mint condition Mickey Mantle baseball card.
Yeah, like I remember watching videos because I want to go to the National one year, and I was like, when I saw a couple of the videos, people like showed it. I'm like, that is a beautiful mantle compared to this is a 55. Like you're talking faded, the colors being off and on, the cut. Like this is a damn near perfect card that was graded, it's slabbed, and I'm like, I can't wait to hear this thing goes for, and for $12.6 million.
No, that's what I'm saying. 12.6 it has to be a great card. So not only is that significant because it's a high price for a baseball card, it is the most expensive piece of sports memorabilia ever sold.
Yeah.
The former item was just sold a few months ago. It was $9.3 million jersey worn by Diego Maradona, who scored the contentious Hand of God goal in soccer's 1986 World Cup.
Yeah.
So this beat that. But what I'm saying is, and right before that, we had another baseball card. I think it was like a Honus Wagner, or maybe it was another Mickey Mantle card. It was
Mantle.
It was a high price as well.
The same card, the 50, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, these sports memorabilia items are starting to go for lots.
Yeah, and so the Diamondbacks owner has a 55 Mantle and a PSA 10 because PSA is so more sought after. They're like, with now the CGS 9.5 going for 12.6. What does a PSS 10 stand for? People are saying anywhere from 20 to 25 million if he ever would sell it. And he said,
why is he going to sell it?
He's not.
He's rich.
They had it there because it's his collection.
Yeah.
They have his good history and with PSA. But now people are like, if you get a PSA 10 and if ever goes to auction, everyone's like, it's got to be 20, 25 million now.
Well, just think about it. By the time this guy gets that to an auction, it's going to be his kids or somebody who doesn't want it as much as he does because they don't need the money, obviously. No. 25 million, that's nothing to them.
Not to a billionaire that owns a baseball team.
But if and when they do sell it, it'll probably go for a lot more.
It's going to be insane.
But you know what it makes me think is the reason why these cards are going so high is like everything else. I feel like with inflation going on, people are losing their trust in the U.S. dollar, so they're going to other things like NFTs or artwork. They're putting their money in things that they can sell at a higher value at a later time.
Yeah, and certain modern sports cards, I think a lot of players out there are going to way higher than the GOATs. Mantle stuff, yeah, that's a special card, but how is Luka Doncic cards going for millions compared to a GOAT?
Because Luka is going to be a GOAT, man.
Could be, yeah.
He's the next Dirk.
You're just betting on hopefully that his career.
You are.
It's insane, but a lot of people are investing in these GOATs like Mantle and stuff. I watch one of the guys I watch on YouTube. He bought that card as a PSA 1 and spent $50,000 on it.
Well, let me tell you why. My opinion just came to me when you said that. I'm thinking, yes, the old classic cards are dope and they are absolutely worth it because of the rarity. But, nowadays they got the 1-of-1s or whatever of the new players. And these are the people that our generation is actually physically watching now. And people get excited about people in the now. So they're like, hey, I like this guy. This is a very rare card for him. Let's run that price up. So you actually get to see him. Nobody saw Mantle play.
And then it's going to be different compared to modern cards and older cards. Because you think about it.
None of our generation anyways.
Yeah. This tweet or something I saw, this sums up perfectly. Tom Brady's rookie card year is like variation of different rookie cards is less than like, I think 300 or like less than 200
Probably because he was
cards.
drafted, what, 299?
2,000.
I'm saying he was numbered like 199 or whatever he was.
And then Mac Jones has almost over like 3,000 different variations of his rookie card.
Yeah.
So that's make it completely different. And you think, and then some people think that 55 Mantle is not the true rookie. There's one that was printed before that, but everyone
go find it. Where is it?
It's just so different out there. But
it's like when the Carl Yasminski's like cards that was in like a cereal box or something, super rare, super valuable. But where are they?
Yeah. Because back then no one cared, and
they put them on their bikes,
just like we did.
Just like we did. We're so
dumb. We were in the junk wax era, so who cares? But back then
it doesn't matter. We still had valuable stuff that we just like
could have been
mistreated. Everybody's gonna get that.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. I think that people like the players that are playing now, and they're like, oh, these are the guys I like. So why not spend the money on them?
Yeah.
Especially when they're making 1-of-1s and special cards.
Yeah,
what they're doing.
It's just
the game's changed.
It's very changed, but like seeing that card.
Oh yeah, dude.
I really want to know who bought it. I don't know if they ever release it or like someone will leak like, oh, it was me.
Forget that. I want to be the one selling it.
I just like just have that as an art piece is just insane. Or they might keep it in the vault there because eBay has a vault now.
Yeah, but
Golden has a vault to keep it secure. Just say I own it. But
like you said, go look at the collection that these owners have. Like if that guy has that card, just imagine what else he has.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. Just walking around. Oh, that's just a Babe Ruth on top of my TV stand.
Right. It's insane. All right, so since this is pretty much 2 days before the end of August, we decided to do a top 10 ranking of the month so far. So we're going into the final month of baseball, you can say. Ooh. Yes, the season ends October 2nd, but this is the last full month of regular season baseball we're walking into starting Thursday. It's insane.
Yeah, man.
Now the calendar, you're going to start scoreboard. Like your teams are going to start watching the scoreboard every night.
Absolutely.
To see where they're at because now it's counting. Now you got to see where you're at, how many games you're behind, who's doing what, who's winning, who's losing, because now you got to start inching. If you're not in the playoffs, you got to start inching. If you're in the playoffs, you got to make sure you stay there. So we're going to go through 10 through 1, and at number 10, team we talked about with Hader needs to figure out these San Diego Padres.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty solid. They're second place in their division. They're ahead of the Giants by a good amount. They're 71-59 right now. They're probably not going to catch the Dodgers, but they have a spot for a wild card. And like you said, your closer has to get it together.
Yeah, 3-game series, guys, and it's in one location.
I mean, their last 10 games, they're 500, they're 5-5. So, do you think they have it? Do you think they're going to fall off?
It's the question mark we had, which so far we've been right, is the pitching. Mm-hmm. Starting, closing, everyone. It's iffy. Like
look, man.
Unfortunately, not getting Tatis back for the rest of the season, but I haven't. They have enough guys around.
Yeah.
And now you're talking about like I said, that first series is going to be tough because it's 3 straight games. It's literally Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Mm-hmm. You win 2, you move on. You lose 2, you go home. That is going to be a very tough round for anyone who's involved, especially if you don't host.
Well, yeah, exactly.
But do I think that they can win 2 out of 3 in the series? Yeah. I think they could be that dangerous team. They have enough offensive. It's just if you get enough pitching. If Hader fixes himself and be the Hader that we know, and I think there'd be no problem. But as of right now, that's why I said they're barely in the top 10 for me right now.
And that's what I'm saying because I like a couple of teams. I mean, I'm thinking there could be 3 teams from the NL East to go to the playoffs, and that would bump the Padres out of there.
Yeah.
Let's go on to number 9.
Number 9.
The Rays. We got the Rays. The Tampa Bay Rays.
2 years ago,
showing some life.
Yeah, 2 years ago they were in the World Series, came up short with some bad decisions against the Dodgers, and then unfortunately got the first round loss last year. But they're still a very young, dangerous team. They're currently second place in the AL East behind the Yankees. They're 7 games out, but they're 1 game over in the wild card.
Yep.
You know, so
the issue here is that we talk about this every time. This is one of the toughest divisions in the game.
Yeah.
And everybody minus the Yankees are all right next to each other. Even the Orioles are here. So the Rays have 70 wins, the Blue Jays have 69, and the Orioles have 67. They are on top of each other.
Yeah.
1 more month to go. This could go down to the wire.
Yeah, this could be. Remember, there's no tiebreaker games no more.
Exactly.
There's no the 163 tiebreaker. It's like there's so many tiebreaker scenarios that it's unfortunately if the coin flip doesn't fall your way, it's like unfortunately. But right now, I think they're sitting good. I have faith in them that they'll at least continue to be a wild card team.
Yeah.
I think they'll probably be. They're not gonna. So I'm almost certain we are. I think Houston and Yankees are probably going to be your buys.
I mean, anything can happen.
It can happen, yes.
The Yankees could fall off, but
they had that bad stretch. We could see that happen again.
But the last 10, the Rays have 7-3. If it continues like this, there's a good shot that they're going to.
Yeah, they could. But they'll at least be a wild card team. I have faith, and then that they could. Right now, they're the highest wild card, so technically they would be one of the host cities. So, but it's nothing to brag about because no one ever goes to Tampa Bay games.
Exactly.
So let's move on.
A team that we were talking about recently that we like.
Yeah, Seattle Mariners, man.
Yeah.
This team, it could be a very dangerous team.
It could be dangerous.
Come October.
Look, I'm kind of not – I don't think they're going to have a deep run, but like you said, they just signed something. They got momentum. It could be a
they're
big,
not
big
catching
thing.
Houston. They're 11.5 behind Houston right now.
But
they are a
damage.
half game up on the wild card. They are the final wild card spot, if I remember correctly. No, wait. They're second. Blue Jays is the final wild card spot right now.
And that's fine because that's what you need. Look, the Mets weren't supposed to be there in 2015. These guys could be dangerous.
Yes. You just got to get hot at the right time, and
Exactly.
you can make some magic work
the
and somehow end up in the World Series.
Exactly. Just like the Nationals did, and they won it that year. We counted them out in the wild card game.
And to be where they're at, especially that rough month or so in the beginning of the season, you know, they were like, we thought this is sophomore slump.
Mm-hmm.
They've changed it, they've fixed it, and they're right there ready to end that playoff drought. All right, so that was number 8. So at number 7, our first NL East team.
Yeah, man. We got the Philadelphia Phillies, and we've been talking about them the last couple of weeks. They've been doing their thing, and Harper's coming back.
Harper just came back.
Their last 10, they were 7-3.
It was literally like a 4 or 5 game for Harper rehab. Those 2 monster games, they brought him up. They're like, yep, you're good.
So the Phillies have been on a tear recently, and they're not stopping.
It's unfortunate they had a terrible loss last night.
Oh, yeah.
That was up 7-0 and then gave up 12 runs in that 1 inning.
That's all right. Just don't make it a habit.
Yeah.
I mean, that is terrible, yes.
Especially against one of the worst teams in baseball, the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Right, who were always a bad team recently.
But they just brought up their top prospect.
Okay.
So they're making moves to see for the future. But, you know, Philly's 10 games behind the Mets in the division. They hold a 1.5 game over the wild card spot. So the way it's looking, the tracking, they're probably going to be one of the wild card holders. But right now they're doing good.
It's
Pitching's
gonna be
been
tough.
solid. It's just they can win. They can beat some teams. It's just they can't beat the Mets.
Right.
But luckily they don't play the Mets the rest of the season, so they'll be okay. They have a better record with that. So
all right. Well, let's move on to a team that we're excited to see somebody playing for.
the Cardinals.
That's right. The Cardinals.
You know, the Pujols chase, but you know when you're 5.5 up on the Brewers, because remember, start of the season, a lot of people were coin flipped about this division because Milwaukee could easily do it.
Absolutely.
You know the golden Cardinals. You know all those Gold Gloves.
Yep.
Like what can happen, and they're doing good season without Jack Flaherty. They made some little trades, and it's worked out. They're 75-55. They're 6-4 the last 10 games.
It's still close.
Still close.
The Brewers are within 6, but the Cardinals, they're doing good. Their last 10, they won 7 out of 3. Pujols is the story, and now everybody's rallying behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're going to be good.
It's a solid team.
It is a solid team.
They're always in it. And,
right. I'm not counting them out.
No.
Would I be surprised if they made it to World Series? Maybe, but I wouldn't be as surprised as some other teams did.
Yeah, but new rookie manager, that make the playoffs. Fortunately, the way it's looking, they probably won't get a bye.
Yep.
So they'll have to host probably the final wild card spot, which currently, if I remember correctly, is the Padres.
Okay.
Yes. So they would host the Padres in San Diego. So
all right,
not San Diego, but in St. Louis. So next is the
number 5 team. We have the Yankees. Yes, they've been struggling a little bit. Thankfully, their bats are keeping them in it.
Yeah.
What do we think about them? Do we think their pitching has enough juice?
I don't know. The pitching is not there, especially after trade deadline. It's still like
it's catching up to them.
It's been like, Garrett Cole got rocked the other weekend. Yep. They're rocky. Like they're going on that roller coaster ride right now. Well, they got a month to figure it out.
Yeah, well, like you said earlier in the season when, we were thinking they could do it, but our question mark was their pitching. Yes, their pitchers have been doing great, but now it's starting to catch up to them. Are they those guys? Yeah. We're going to find out at the end of the season.
Yeah, they're 5-5 the last 10. They're 78-51. Like I said, at one point they had like a 14-15 game lead over the division. Now it's all down to 7.
Right. Now they're on hold-on mode.
Yeah.
If I were you guys, I would try to figure out what happened before or after the All-Star break and get that juice back from the beginning of the year. But, if Judge keeps doing what he's doing, I don't see why these guys shouldn't rally up.
Yeah. So the biggest thing for them is their home-away record. Of course, you play Little League Park, you're going to have a better record.
Of course.
But, it's, the 3-game losing streak, and, of course, you're facing the Angels right now. So
right. So, yeah, we got to see how – they got to get tested. But, the Angels, if they lose to them, then we have a whole nother discussion to have. But I figured they should handle them pretty well.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But Yankees, that pitching needs to work itself out. But you never know. Like, if they somehow do fall from grace and don't get a bye, but they'll probably be I don't know. They wouldn't be the host city because of the other division team. I don't know. It's going to be tough. But I don't think they'll lose a bye because Cleveland is leading the other division. They're 10 games up on them.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
if anything, the way they lose the bye is if they get passed by Tampa Bay or Toronto. So,
and if that happens, then there's a good chance that we don't think they're going to last very long in the playoffs if they slip that far.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go on to the next team. Number 4.
The defending World Series champions, the Atlanta Braves.
Yep, you're getting hot when you're supposed to.
This team is just resilient.
Absolutely.
You sign young players. You get your young guys. They're all I guess
they make the right moves.
They're, a few years ago, their ace, Mike Soroka, is rehabbing, so he will be here for that late season push playoff. Most likely, probably bullpen or some sort. I don't know. We'll see what they use them, but
yeah,
they're 3 games out of behind the Mets. They're 79-50.
They keep getting closer. They keep roller coasting.
They're 7-3. They're 8.5 up on the wild card.
Yep.
So
and their record looks good both home and away.
Yeah, it's it's hard to repeat in baseball.
It's
and
hard.
This team is just not willing to give up. They won the World Series without Acuna. Acuna's there, and
I counted him out when Acuna was gone. And now they're doing great too. Like I said, their front office, their coaching staff, everybody's making great decisions. The only terrible decision was them not getting Freeman back. Other than that, they've been lights out. Great organization, and they can play ball.
Yeah. So with them being the highest wild card, they'll host the other wild card team because right now St. Louis would host the Padres, so they would actually face their division rival in a 3-game series against Philly.
Wow, when you're talking about a division, anything's game. I couldn't even pick a winner out of that because Philly's really hot too.
And it'll be, of course, 3 games in Atlanta.
Man, that's tough.
That is tough.
But it's even tougher when your opponent is that hungry too.
Yeah.
So yeah, both that would be a good matchup in my opinion.
Very good.
Well, let's move on to another team.
Number 3.
Number 3.
The Houston Astros.
Yes,
the best record in the American League.
They're doing good. The only issue that they got is their ace pitcher
is out.
Verlander
now.
is out with a hamstring, I believe, or
calf
injury. Yes, calf injury.
So you're hoping maybe 1 or 2 starts. We'll see how severe it truly is, but
I do believe they need Verlander to compete.
They do.
But they're doing great.
You lost the World Series last year.
Yep.
Your pitching's better this year.
Absolutely.
You're getting key from guys who you thought this is about almost time for rebuild mode, and they're still there.
They're still there.
Best record in the American League is something you can hang your hat on.
Absolutely.
Especially year after year, you've been there. You won 1 World Series, you've lost 2 now.
Mm-hmm.
It's still you're in it every year, and you're right there in it as the number 1 seed in the American League, and of course have home field advantage throughout the playoffs in the American League as of right now. You're 11.5 over Seattle. What else you can say? You're 6-4 the last 10, so you're not you're above 500, but
Yeah, all it is at this point is fine tuning and getting your players healthy. That's what they need to focus on.
And, we're about to be within a month, so that number to clinch the division is going to be coming up quick with that big of a lead.
Absolutely.
So, can't wait to see it. And then at number 2, our New York Mets.
Absolutely, man. I mean, these guys, every now and then I feel like when we lose a game, it's so heartbreaking because I feel like the Braves are that much closer nipping at our heels.
Yep.
But the Mets are one of those teams that won't give up either. They don't go away. They're always in the game. Even if they give up a couple runs early, you're like, oh, man. But then they come right back and they go get it. You got guys like Vogelback out there hitting doubles every single time you get there. Canna is coming alive right now. He is doing the most. And then you got Pete Alonso, who's ringleader heading this and keeping everybody in it. And Lindor, he might not have been named an all-star, but he is absolutely earning his contract right now. So these guys are playing great.
And it doesn't help having the two-headed monster at the ace of DeGrom and Scherzer.
Healthy, exactly. Yes. So, look, man, I'm expecting great things. We even have the hype around Diaz as a closer. Everything for the Mets is working pretty well overall. They have been struggling this last after the break a little bit, but they're still on par.
Yeah. When you're have the second best record in baseball at 82-47, 6-4 the last 10, of course they lost last game against the Rockies.
And a close one.
1-0.
Right.
Stuff like that happens. Sweeping is very hard in baseball. You take 3 out of 4 against the Rockies. And, it was Max Scherzer, 11 strikeouts. And, unfortunately, it was a sac fly.
Mm-hmm.
That did you in. And the pitcher for the Rockies was dealing, and you couldn't get nothing against them. But it's a very exciting team.
It's
a special teams. Special stuff happens for special teams, and they are it.
And what's crazy is that all the fans are getting behind the team. They're believing. They even had an old-timers game this past weekend.
Yes.
And it hasn't happened in forever. And it was exciting. I didn't get to watch any of it. I saw some highlights and some reels on social media, but everybody was like, this is amazing. Cohen is doing a great job.
Yeah.
I can't be happier as a Mets fan.
Yeah, and the thought of the clips, and especially them, the fans outside the stadium,
Doc on the mound.
Well, welcome all the old timers down to get to the locker rooms, and then on field, and then the surprise retirement of Willie Mays' number.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's he's bringing fun, and then a lot of people ask why a lot of teams stop doing old timer games, because it's expensive, and Steve doesn't care. He wants to bring the history, the brand back to the Mets, and he has done it.
Look, man, as a fan, even if I wasn't a Mets fan, this was one of the coolest things I saw. I saw Mike Piazza at Citi Field taking BP, hitting dingers.
Yeah.
What? Doc Gooden on the mound throwing balls. They had a 79-year-old pitcher or something up there throwing heat. What is going on? This was amazing.
And it was awesome seeing past managers all with Bob taking the picture and stuff. It's just
Bobby V coming out there with the fake mustache.
Oh yeah, it's the history. Yes, we can talk about this all day as Mets fans, but still, just as a baseball fan, this stuff you enjoy. I remember being jealous when Yankees did the old timers game for those years, and Hideki Matsui hitting home runs.
Yes,
and I'm like, this is stuff that needs to happen. This is interesting to history to bring it, and then. I love that when they retired Willie Mays' number, but stuff like that, I'm like, that'd be perfect to retire stuff or do honor.
Yes,
during
those games. Yeah,
Mets Hall of Fame induction ceremony. You have an old timers game and induct them in a surprise stuff. That's awesome.
No, and it was
that
actually
needs more happen in
really
baseball.
cool during the season. Before games even it's pretty awesome to see, man. It's really cool because you get all these players from different generations playing. And it's bringing back all the memories.
Yeah, and then, of course, the younger players don't know who some of these players are, and then you want to go look them up. You click videos.
Man. They had pictures of Pedro talking to DeGrom and them. I was like, yes, talk to these guys.
Especially, you hear what he said, right?
He's like, winning this for me.
He's like, finish what I started. I'm like, yo.
Yeah, and look, that's powerful stuff. Look, I think it was great all around. If I was a Mets player, I'd be out there like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? Let's move on.
To the number one team in baseball.
And if you guys haven't heard the name, well, you're going to hear it now. The Dodgers.
This team we knew was the World Series favorites going into the season.
Absolutely.
Especially after getting Freddie Freeman, other guys, and God, it's hard against them.
It's very hard. Like I said, every time I watch a Dodgers game, they are the toughest team to beat, and they have to be the favorites. The last 10, they're 8-2. They don't lose games.
No.
They don't.
Unfortunately, Walker Buehler's out for the season and next season with that Tommy John. Curtin is gonna. They did announce he is gonna pitch the third game of the Mets Dodgers series.
Kershaw.
Yep.
Yep.
So he is officially gonna pitch. What's today? Today's Tuesday. So Thursday day game, his first game back from being on the injured list.
And that's fine, man. I don't think they'll miss a beat regardless of who gets injured.
They just put someone else on the injured list. So your pitching's a little hurt right now.
A little.
You got to figure it out. But they did announce they're going to go to a 6-man rotation to rest their arm stuff, which makes perfect sense.
Smart.
And I can see more teams probably figuring this out because, especially them, they have such a big record, we're going to win the division. So right now, we're thinking bigger picture. Let's rest some guys at extra day start. This makes so much sense.
Look, man, all I know is when you talk about the Dodgers these days, it just reminds me of the Patriots back when Brady was there. It's how do you beat these guys? These guys are the team to beat.
Yeah,
they are. I don't care if you have your favorite team. Oh, the Yankees, this, that, 27 rings, whatever. The Dodgers are the team, hands down, they're best. You got to beat them. I don't know how you're gonna get it done, but they are tough.
Yeah, they are very, very tough. So you think about it, they're like I said, they're almost ready to clinch the division and also probably a first-round bye. So then,
we're not surprised.
Not
at
surprised
all.
at all. So now they're gonna sit at home, wait for their opponent after that first weekend, and be ready for that 5-game series next. Man, it's just looking at these teams. It's it's gonna be a very interesting offseason. Would I be shocked that we have another, Dodgers back in it and possibly Astros again, the rematch of 2017? It wouldn't surprise me.
There's a lot of scenarios that could happen, man.
Could Braves be the first team in forever to try to defend and repeat?
They could.
I think, what is it? Last team that had a chance was Phillies.
Right.
When they won and then they went back and lost to the Yankees.
Are the Cardinals going to send Pujols off with a ring?
Yeah.
Another ring. I mean, anything can happen. We're here calling the Subway Series. At least I am. I would like to see that, but the scenarios are crazy.
There is.
What do you guys think? What do you guys think the match is going to be based on the team?
So now with a month left,
right?
What do y'all think is we'll say a dream World Series, or what do you actually think who's going to be the World Series matchup come November? Well, I guess end of October.
How many do y'all think the Brew Crew is going to be in there?
Let
me know. It could happen.
I don't think it's happening.
Exactly, but it could.
It could, but I don't see it. They haven't been that. They've been a great team, but they have definitely cooled off. It's unfortunate. I think that clubhouse was rocked after Hader got traded, but now they're probably we're probably better.
But that's why I'm bringing this up discussion, because they're still at 68 wins. They could easily make it happen, but unfortunately they're not going to probably. But hey, what if they did?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if we got anything else.
I think that's it, man.
Oh, I have one thing.
All right, what do we got?
Did you see the picture of last night of Ohtani and Trout after the home run?
The fireworks?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
This is the hardest picture ever.
That has to be a card. I'm surprised that's not a Topps 24-hour card.
I'm like, yo, this card.
That's the dope picture.
I'm like, if I ever wanted a Ohtani Trout dual signed, it's this picture for sure.
Yeah, man.
I saw that picture. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, I think that's all we got for you this week. We'll catch y'all next time. Please, subscribe to our social medias. Check us out. Share with a friend. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.